Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. How are you all doing today? Welcome to the live show, to the live discussion of our next book club read, The Coral Bonws by E.J. Swift. Um, I finished this just now. That's why I'm late, because I just finished it. Like, I'm not kidding. I just finished like 1 minute ago. It was a struggle, not because I didn't enjoy it, it just was a struggle to keep reading. So let me get a bit more comfy here. Um, yeah, we are here to discuss this book, which is a climate fiction, if I've ever read one. Like, if there is a definition book for climate fiction, this is it. Um, I don't know what to say about it. It is set in three different, or like we follow three different timelines. We have one in 1839. We have a current one, so like 2020 ish. And then we have one at the end, like 2190, 2200. So in the future. And yeah, I I don't know. I don't feel right now like talking, which is not great for the live show. But yeah, I'm still processing because I just finished it. I do not know the rating yet, but maybe we can go through the couple and see if we can come up with something. But yeah, we follow three different timelines. We follow in a present timeline. We have marine biologist Hana Ishikawa, who is yeah diving a lot and trying to save the Great Barrier Reef and working in a lab and like trying to save different species. In the past, in 1800s, we follow a 17-year-old Judith Holliman who manages to get on her father's ship to take her on adventures on the sea, and because she's very much interested in being a naturalist, being kind of a marine biologist, but back in the day that was not not the title, and yeah, it was hard for her as a woman to be listened to and everything. And then we follow Telma Velasco in the future, who is working for an organization that is basically keeping track of animals and making sure that they survive, or maybe they can reproduce them, bring them back from extinction. So it is very, very climate heavy, and I really enjoyed it. I feel like that this is the kind of book that I want to read for the Climate Book Club when it comes to fiction. This is exactly it. So yeah, I I'm happy that we read this. Thank you, Jess, for suggestion, because first and foremost it was Jess' suggestion. And yeah, we're gonna be discussing, but first let's talk to you, see what you're up to. Set myself an alarm so I wouldn't miss this. Nice, very nice. Smart. Coral, hello. Hello, Natalie. Well done, Jess. Yes. Still said I miss Father Christmas in Denny's Land. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sad as well, but I know I couldn't have made that one. And I saw you mark the book as read on Goodreads, so you finished in time. Yes. I saw the burial yesterday. It was on page like 380 or something. I was like, what? I'm like 280. So, yes, very good. Natalie finished. I don't know about Larissa. I know Josephine finished. So, there is going to be probably a few of us. So, that's exciting. Finished last night. I'm on fire. Yes. Hello, Josephine. Was the expression that a queen is never late, everyone else is just early? Exactly. That exactly it. I don't know where you find the queen, but that is the saying. Who is that about some rap? Yes. Yeah. I mean, I Judith and Thelma and Hannah. Like, yeah, I know. I don't know the last names though, but definitely was a bit not tricky, but like I don't know the last names. Not that important, I think. I need a push to read it, so glad it was picked. Yep, definitely agree. That's climate fiction at its core. Learned a lot. Yes. We had some references to the Pod book that we read last year. Um, there was Remora, and I was also thinking the spawning was also in Pod. That was also mentioned. So they kind of overlapped a little bit. So that was nice. There was also mention of the inland sea and how people believe that they can just rely on the inland sea in Australia. I have a book called The Inland Sea set in Australia. So now I'm like, okay, I should read it. Like I knew it was kind of like climate fiction and about like climate issues, but I don't know like what it is or anything. But I've had that for years. So now I'm like, I see it, and I might read it. So it was interesting. Sam's, I meant, yes. Typing on my phone, so stay tuned for Tristan messing up half my words. Yeah, no worries. Long time no see, Tristan. Remora, table flip. I know. Tristan is back. Yes, I missed Tristan. I also thought of the spawning. I think I called it the sexy times moon. Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah. I wonder if this book hits even harder for Australian readers. Yeah, maybe. I did enjoy the Australian accent a lot. Like, there is something about Australian accent that I just love. So, listening to it on audiobook, some of them had Australian accents, so that was really cool. I really enjoyed it. But it definitely hits harder for Australians, I think, and maybe even British, because it did talk a lot about like colonizing and discovering new places, bringing progress to them and stuff like that. So yeah, but the Australians and surrounding places for sure. Hello, Larissa. Welcome, welcome. Did you manage to finish the book? I finished it like just before starting the sprint or the stream. Like I was late for the stream because was I had to finish it. Um. So yeah, I don't typically enjoy talking about books all that much without spoilers. So I'm going to give a warning for going into spoilers so we can just start talking about the book and what we thought and everything. So if you have not read the book or haven't finished and don't want to be spoiled, let me know. Maybe we can discuss a little bit, but otherwise we will just jump right into spoilers because I just enjoy that more. um so let me know. Yes, I did at 7 a.m. Wow, that's early. I was still asleep at 7, but I did also go to sleep at 2. So but very nice. So all of us read it. That's good. I like the amount of time spent in each POV. It felt like you really got a chance to know the characters before moving on. Yes, definitely true. Yeah, it felt because I've been reading different books. I'm not gonna just say which ones yet because it is for a vlog that I am still about to publish. But there I was reading some books and they all had like a very similar style, and it was that um, you had a character like a different point of views, and then when something exciting happened or like something that you wanted to know what happens next, it would switch to a different character, and this would keep happening all the time, and it was really like throwing me out because by the and there was like six or something characters that we followed, so by the time we got back to the first one I already forgot what the cliffhanger was supposed to be. So I agree, I really enjoyed it. We got a pretty big chunk at a time for each character, and whenever something interesting was happening we just continued with the story rather than moving on. So it was yeah, I really enjoyed that. Let's see how long my eyes can stay open. Oh wow, are you tired? Is this usually your bedtime? I think that's the only non-spoiler thing I have to say. This damn secret vlog. I know. One more book. I will be reading it, I hope, in February. So then I can publish the vlog in February. I hope. I hope. I started in August, but it's only 4 books. That's why I struggle so much with vlogs, like thematic vlogs. Like I would love to, but I don't know how people do it. Like, okay, I'm gonna read these books, and they read like 3 books in a week, and they publish the vlog like next week. Like how? I started this vlog, 4 books, started in August. I still not finished. Like how? Need to focus more on that and less on, I don't know. I don't know. Agree. The characters are very well written and fleshed out for a triple point of view. Yes, definitely. Um, I agree. Yes, and I was already excited when the character changed again every time it happened because I so wanted to know what would happen with them next. Yeah, exactly. Um, so I think it was very well done, very well written. Also, I liked that pretty early on we were like the cover was explained because I was not exactly sure what the cover was on the cover. Like I did imagine it was either some animal or some plant or something, but we found out pretty early on, so that was nice. So then you could just enjoy the cover while reading it. Yeah, I was interested in all of them, even if I didn't like all of them. Ooh, you didn't like all of them? Okay, we're going into spoilers, so you can drop the tea, spill the tea. Okay, sorry, spoilers for the Coral Bones. So if you haven't read it and you don't want to be spoiled, this is your clue to leave and then come back later when you have finished the book if you want to know what we thought. But otherwise, we're gonna jump into spoilers and yeah, just discuss everything. So be aware. I've seen quite many videos of this animal now. Yeah, and you kept posting. I loved it actually that you kept posting because I didn't think to myself to Google it or to search for it on YouTube or anything. So thank you so much for posting those on Discord. That was great. But I knew before what it was. Oh yeah, that's good. I did not. I didn't know. It's so creepy though. Yes, that video you shared was amazing, Natalie. The babies were so cute. Yeah, so cute. So tiny. Like, how does it even survive? How does it have a chance to survive? It's so tiny and it's on its own. Scary. Um, yeah. So, let's see. Let's start with the characters, maybe. What did we think about the characters since you just kind of brought it up that you were interested in all of them but didn't like all of them? So, which ones didn't you like? Which ones did you like? Or which one was your favorite or least favorite? And why? I'm just gonna open my copile and maybe keep track there. Um, Characters. Boo, Hannah. Oh, didn't like Hannah. Okay, I see. Because she left Tess. Is that why? Or just didn't like her in general? Didn't like her vibe. Um, I think yeah, she was kind of like the most boring one of the 3 of them. Maybe because she lived in the time line that we live in, so it's least interesting. Um, but like there, to some degree, I understood her decisions, honestly. But then at some point, just there was something that she said. I'm like, but this doesn't make any sense. You're just being really selfish. So all of it, you didn't like all of it. Okay, I see. Fair, fair. She was not that great. I love that apart from the climate thematics, every character had their own struggle to deal with. That was well done. Yeah, definitely. I think that, and somehow they were all like connected to the climate as well, the separate issues. But yeah, I like that it was like very climate heavy, but at the same time the characters had their own issues and like backstories and everything, like things happening that needed to be addressed. She felt shady immediately, like she was hiding things, if not from the reader, then from herself. Okay, yeah, I mean, she was. And that, by the way, big spoilers, she she is the one who painted on the coral man. What was his name? Um, why? We did we ever found out like why, or because there was something written there that I did not quite understand. Yes, here I just managed to open it. Like I didn't annotate it. Um, but there it says it's on page on in my book is on page 379. Um, when she says that I obtain the painting materials I need from the maintenance hut and do my work quickly without thinking. I don't have much time and the message needs no consideration. It arrives fully formed. Then I push my macabre installation back into the surf, swim it out as far as I feel safe, and set it adrift. I swim back to shore. I wipe my prints from the paint pots and brushes and return them to where they came from. I am showered, changed, and back at the quad in time for breakfast as though nothing has occurred. I put on a pot of coffee for the other women and make myself scrambled eggs. The morning's walk already feels like a dream. It's the property of another woman, not mine. I left her there, on the beach with Jake. What does that mean? I don't understand the last sentence. The last two. It's the property of another woman, not mine. I left her there, on the beach with Jake. Who? What happened? I do not understand that. Well, I missed something. I missed something. I Please explain if anybody understood that, because I felt like it was just so overlooked, while it felt like it was such a driving force for the entire story to start, kind of. And then it was just kind of like, okay, I did it, did this, went back, and then there is some weird two sentences that I don't understand, and then it never talked about it again. So I was a little confused with that. I could relate to her for a lot of things because she was on the verge of it all changing, just like we are. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Jake Kelly? Yeah, exactly. I agree that Hannah was flawed, but I still liked her, and the mental health descriptions, her parts were amazingly done. For that, I loved her POV. Yeah, I think all of them had really good like mental health, except of Judith. She didn't seem to have any issues, but the other two, I think that they were like very well described. That is true. I did really like the thing with grouper days. I did not understand that at all. What was that? I think she wanted to make a statement, something that no one would have a chance to look away from. Okay, yeah, sure. So she just found the body on the beach, painted it, and then put it back into the sea. Is that what happened, basically? Way to distance herself from what she did, leaving her old self behind. That's how I took it. Ah. It's the property of another woman, not mine. I left her there on the beach with Jake. Aha, okay. Yeah, because it's not exactly clear to me, but that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, thank you. She was, how to say in English, detaching from herself. Yeah, exactly, making excuses. I liked her friend Aaron too, such a good friend. Yeah, he was a great friend. Um, Making excuses, yeah, like I don't know, the way it was written kind of feels like it just wasn't clear to me, but maybe it was because I was listening on high speed, so maybe that's why. Okay, okay, I get it now. Yeah, Aaron was great. I did like Aaron as well. Um, yeah, so I think Hannah had her issues, but and it was a bit like the most boring of them, I think, but it was the one that was connecting it all somehow. I don't know. I think Hannah was also my least favorite POV. I did not have necessarily problems with her. I understood lots of the thoughts behind why she didn't want a babe, why she didn't want to witness or be a parent. Kind of like I would understand why those would be reason, or like that would be a reason to not want to have a child. But once you already have it, you can't like that. That's not like that's not the reason good enough to leave your partner and your child just because you don't want to talk to them about it. That feels dumb. So that was my problem with her, really. um but then in the end, it was nice that she kind of came through, but it also felt a little not out of the blue. But was it like she was so in total crisis mode, and like the only way she could find out of it was going back to Tess? Maybe group days were a way to describe bad days, I think. Yeah, okay. I think it was mentioned somewhere in the beginning, but I forgot. Yeah, like explained what it was. That statement referred to something being said in the future part, something like people don't care about the ocean, only about trees and bees and stuff. She really felt that. Okay. I care about the ocean. You can see the turtles. I like Talmas, but don't really understand why her POV was there. Um, I think her POV was there. Like I really like Talma's point of view as well, and the story. I actually really like the POV as well, or like what everything that happened, and I think it was there to show that good change is possible, and that if people come together, they can come up with great things. So like they fixed that one island where they saved the corals, or like revived the corals, and revived the forest and nature on the island by using some geoengineering. Um, so I thought it was nice. Um, it also kind of showed how everything basically went bad, but people, by coming together, managed to survive, which I think is a nice message. I'm not sure it's true, but it's a nice message. So I don't know. I hated that part because Tess was so upfront that it was a deal breaker for her if a partner didn't want kids, and to go through all the tests, rounds of treatment, whatever, to go through all that. Um, yeah, but yeah, exactly. But she wanted kid at that time, Hannah. She just changed her mind later, which is the crappy part. Interesting, Larissa. For me, it made almost more sense to be there than Judy's POV to see where the world will possibly go. Yeah, I agree. I think Telma's was almost like the most important point of view to me. I like Telma, 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 Telma. Maybe because she was older and more jaded, I related to her. Yeah, yeah, she was older. Did she die on the island after all? Did Rashi and Igor died when they were going back? Did Igor do it on purpose? Did he leave her there on purpose? I don't know what happened. Yes, Thelma. It was maybe future where Earth had to go through terrible times, but there is still hope in it after everything. I love that part too. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think Thelma's was my favorite point of view. I loved all of their anxieties. Well, loved how they were done. I did not love them because I could understand all of them, and I struggled. But that's how well they were done, because I was getting anxiety just thinking about it, and about how how some people have this fear of like what is it called? I don't know what the fear is called, the phobia, but like of fear of huge things. Um, and or of like of ocean, and like I could so feel it when Hannah was diving in the end. That was so terrifying. I was like, I was done. Like the reef just going deeper, 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 and like there is no end to it. You don't know what's below you, and then you just turn around and it's vast ocean, and like it's bonkers to me. It totally terrified me. I was like, okay, I need to just like quickly go through this because I won't be able to finish. So the anxieties and these like descriptions were so amazing. Yeah, then she starts hallucinating, like people who, uh, like the people who see who's what 8 months later, she said, which seems wild. Yeah, but Rafi returned, right? Or was that just a hallucination? Yeah, I think it was just a hallucination. I think yeah, it was like after 8 months, and I think she was like very close to dying or something, and she had some hallucinations, and she saw like a ghost of Rafi. Um, let's see, wait. Um, she was down at the jetty working on the jelly shade. Another cedar had failed, and the mist over the lagoon was thinner than it had been when Thelma arrived, gentle haze within which it was possible to imagine that time might slip. When the boat appeared at the edge of the lagoon, her first thought was not rescue, but the explorer. She was returning from the north, her young mind brimming with the bedazzlement of encounters, only awaiting the chance to share her knowledge with the world. Thelma watched the boat approach, heard the plash of its oars, the ghost of the explorer standing at the prow, eager and expectant. She had Ligaya's face and Amihan's too. Yeah, she had Ligaya's face and Amihan's too. The boat was moving fast, faster than she would expect of a wooden longboat. Now she heard the soft whine of the engine, a new element weaving into the island's complex biophony. The ghost gained substance, resolved into a familiar figure. Ruffy waved as they sighted Thelma on the jetty. She raised a hand in return, shielding her eyes against the glare of the sun off the water, her imaginings dissolving one by one into the lap of the sea. So it was her imaginings, seeing her daughters, seeing Rafi, but there was no one. So she was left on the island. Oh damn, I thought it was real, like she had been hallucinating and then Rafi showed up and she kind of came out of it. Nope. Nobody came. Nobody came for her. I understood it as real too, but I'm fine with not knowing if it's one or the other. Maybe that's on purpose. I mean, it says, maybe it is on purpose, but it says that she raised a hand in return, shielding her eyes against the glare of the sun off the water, her imaginings dissolving one by one into the lap of the sea. Or do you mean like she saw Rafi and the imaginings were of the daughters, but the Rafi actually came? Rafi actually came. I don't know. I don't know. I think no one came. That's how I understand it. Yeah, I like it when the reader gets to decide. Kind of like it. Yeah. I thought Rafi was real too, and just the ghosts of her daughters vanished. Okay, interesting. So we can understand in different ways then. Yeah. No, for me it was all just imagination. I think nobody came. Yeah, exactly. Rafi showed up and her hallucinations vanished. Really? That doesn't make sense to me, but it's interesting. I love that. Because it does say the ghost gained substance, resolved into a familiar figure. Ruffy waved as they sighted Thelma on the jetty. She raised a hand in return, shielding her eyes against the glare of the sun of the water, her imaginings dissolving one by one into the lap of the sea. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, I understood it as it was all just imagination and Ruffy didn't come. But maybe it was. Maybe Ruffy did come. Question: the person who started a reef where Thelma ended up, was it started by Hannah, which would mean Tessa probably rejected her, or it might have been their daughter? Yeah, I thought we would find out. I thought we would find out, but I don't know. I thought it was Hannah, actually, because Hannah did talk about the Lizard Island a lot, but it could be the daughter because she said she would come there and show her everything. So I don't know. That's the best part of reading stuff together, though. Different interpretations, different scenes, mean different things to everyone. Mean different things to everyone. Yeah, I choose the happy ending. Okay, so Rafi came then. Nice. But yeah, in the end, we will never know for sure what happened after that. Interesting. Yeah. Nice. It's not like I don't want the happy end. It's just maybe it feels like a full circle that she was the last warden of the island and the island survived on its own or something like that. Like it doesn't need a warden anymore, and nobody is gonna come. So I don't know. To me, it felt like perfect that she would stay there, see that the nature is like able to survive on its own. At least that's how I understood it. But that's fine. Great. I thought Hannah was the first warden. I definitely would like to think Tess told her to fudge off. Yeah, I did think Hannah was the first one as well. And they said she was a scientist, the first warden. Yes, they did. But it could be also her daughter, like. But I think it would make more sense that it was Hannah. If we are like coming, deducting ourselves, I think it will make more sense that it was Hannah herself rather than her daughter because we got Hannah's story. Otherwise, maybe we would have gotten the daughter's story, uh, finding out about her mother and everything. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. But Thelma deserves another chance of life with other humans, but also not a bad way for her to live out her days. Yeah, both true. I think I'm going with the daughter who became a scientist after being infected with the ocean fever. It could be both. Could be both. Look at us, like finding different things or like interpreting differently. Yeah, this is fun. Look how fun it turns out to be discussing this one. Like I thought, or I didn't think it would be particularly like super duper interesting. I did not annotate that much. I did take some pictures of things that I potentially wanted to mention in the live show because I did not have my tabs. But yeah, this is great. And didn't Igor? It's so weird to say it Igor because it's a name in Slovak and it's Igor. Igor say someone about the Ishikawa principles or something, or whatever Hannah's last name was. Yes. Um, yeah, he did talk about the Ishikawa principle. That was, yeah, it was an Hana Ishikawa. Yeah, exactly. That's why I also think. Or it could have been the daughter, but would she be Ishikawa? Could be Ishikawa as well. Because I can't imagine the kid would have had Hannah's last name. Why not? Maybe they, it would probably be Tess's name or both. Would have both moms' names then, and then would use the famous mom, or like the mom from the science world name to be on the sciencey stuff if she is scientist. Maybe because other than you, Jess, I'd love for Hannah to be forgiving and then working through this test. Yes, but it's her daughter. She can also carry the name Ishikawa. Exactly. Yeah. Don't argue. It's fine. True, she could have chosen it as an adult. Yeah, exactly. Like, mom was very well known Ishikawa scientist. I'm Ishikawa too. Even though, honestly, if I would be in the same field as my parents and wanted to, make a name for myself, I would choose the other last name, not the same as the famous mom. That's exactly the reason why I went to different school than my older sister because In primary school, everybody knew who I was, and everybody knew my sisters, and my sisters always had A's, and I was always compared to them. And whenever I didn't get an A, my teachers would be disappointed, and they would be like, "Ah, but your sisters would get an A." Um, so I hated it. And then when my sister went to high school, um, she would also of course get all A's, and I just didn't want that anymore. So then I chose different, even though I was admitted to that high school as well. I chose a different one because nobody knew me there, and I just didn't want to be compared anymore. So maybe she would choose a different last name. I don't know, but it is possible that she would be Ishikawa as well. We don't know what happened in between. No, we don't. We're not arguing. It did sound like it. I know you're not. We are happily sharing opinions. I know. I know you're not arguing. Um, but okay. Uh, Judith, what did we think of Judith? I think Judith was a typical teenager. I don't know. I don't have many opinions on Judith. She was just interested in nature, and she went after her dream. She paved the way for, or I don't know if she paved the way. She wrote under a name that was like you couldn't tell she was a woman, but she did leave the journal for other women to find. So in a way, she led the way to other women to follow in the science, or like in her footsteps. She was brave and curious, which I mean 17-year-olds typically are. I think I was. Now I'm just a little pile of anxiety, but when I was 17, not a worry in the world. Um, so yeah, she was. I enjoyed her point of view, but it did. I don't feel like it gave that much to the story. Like I feel like that one didn't add that much. Only maybe to see the timeline, as in it was so vivid and full of life back then, before the steam engine, or like just in those years when steam engine was discovered, and how fast it went downhill. But otherwise, uh, you can definitely tell if I'm arguing. Judith took a minute to adjust to, but she was lovely by the end. Oh, really? I actually loved her from the beginning, like from the first page. Even though, yeah, she was like lying about the caretaker being sick, but I thought it made sense. Do we think Judith really died at sea, or that she continued exploring on her own, unknown to anyone? Oh, I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of that. I would think she died. That was unfinished. Like this book could have a sequel, honestly. Like George Orwell. Oh yeah. Yeah. I was wondering that too, because she wanted to be a naturalist more than anything, definitely more than publishing things and being recognized. I could definitely see her happily living on her own. Yeah, that's true. I love sorry. I loved Judith's curiosity and enthusiasm. I think she brought a happy and thus important note to a book. Uh, Brought a happy and thus important note to a book that could otherwise have been quite depressing. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Especially because she mentions so many times people disappearing to live off the land with native people and floofs. Uh-huh. She does. Yeah, maybe she did that then. I did like how everyone called her an insufferable child, but they were 100% in on the schemes. Yeah, yeah. Yes, maybe she lived somewhere unknown, but I also kind of like the idea of her dying at sea. Maybe she died later on, but yeah. I think I cheered out loud when she stopped the guy from shooting the ray. Yeah, me too. Yeah, that was great. Um, that, yeah, that was nice. Of course, she got in trouble after that. I think the lieutenant was very prideful man, which are the worst kind of almost, that he couldn't stand it. Um, but yeah, at the end, when Mr. Pook, wait, what was the name? Was it Pook? My brain, honestly. Yes, Mr. Pook. When he proposed, I was like, immediately I was thinking like, what? This is perfect. Like he'll take you on the journeys with you. Like say yes, and she's like, no, no. And then half a page later, you know what? Yes. I'm like, couldn't you just have like figure it out right away? But okay, she's 17. But that made sense. Like right away. Why the drama? Love the dancing part. Yes. Yeah, that was fun. Oh my god, yes. And the people in the island being all wary and Judith realizing they were sort of appeasing Pook and dancing in return. Yeah. Oh, secondhand embarrassment. Yes. That was funny. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this book, like, I did enjoy it, but sometimes, like, now talking back about it, it feels a little bit like it wants a sequel, or it could have been longer. Like there are lots of things that were unexplained, lots of things that were like left hanging, but not even like the reader needs to fill in the gaps themselves, but like literally like not explained at all. And I feel like there is no reason for it to be unexplained, kind of thing. So yeah, could have been longer. She's 17 and swore never to marry. She had to take a minute to think about it. Yeah, I know, but back then at 17, it was already old maiden, you know? My grandma got married at 14. It was normal back then. So she was 17, but at 17, they're already old back in 1800s. Like, it's horrible, but that's how it was. But yeah, okay. Like, because to me, it was obvious. Like, she knew she was gonna get married off after the journey ends. So why not accept the proposal of the naturalist, of the adventurer that you don't have anything against, and he actually tried to protect you? Like, isn't that like okay? She came to that conclusion later on, but I don't know. I just felt like that was obvious. I would love a sequel, but also love open-ended stuff when it's done well. Yeah, definitely. I agree. I think when it's like open-ended, I tend to remember it less. Like then my brain kind of is like, oh, that's unfinished. I'm not gonna bother remembering it. So I think like I don't mind open-ended for the sake of like I feel unsatisfied. That's not the problem. The problem is my brain feels like it's unfinished. So I'm not gonna remember anything. So I feel like I'm afraid that's gonna be the case with this book as well. That I'm not gonna remember much. Um, I feel the author tried too much at the same time, and for me, I missed a lot of details that I would have liked to know. Yeah, definitely. I don't feel like that. I don't need more answers, and I like the open things. I would love to read more, but I think a sequel would, or at least could, ruin it. Of course, that definitely. But we already mentioned. I already forgot, but there we already mentioned few things that like actually don't know. Like, yeah, what happened with the uh, daughter, or did Hannah go back to Tess? Is the Ishikawa named after Hannah or after Hannah's daughter? Like there's so many questions that are unanswered, and some form of open ending is fine, but it feels like there is just too much unanswered to me personally. So a sequel could ruin it for sure. So that's why I'm like, maybe longer. If it was longer, I would still enjoy it. I wouldn't mind if it was a bit longer, like 50, 100 pages longer. I thought it was kind of nice too that Pug was only like 23, not as horrible as it could have been in that time. Yeah. I'm so glad it wasn't the 50 something painter. I was afraid for a minute. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I think open-ended works for me when I feel like I know the characters well enough to guess at what they will do. Fair enough. That makes sense. Honestly, I think there's always a risk sequels will ruin books, even if they are planned out. Yes. 100%. Yep. Okay. What do we have next? Next we have atmosphere. Did you feel the atmosphere of the doom or of the hope? I think I did not feel it like fully, but it was probably because I rushed so much through it. But the moment when Thelma and Igor came to the island with the cedars, and he said that there is reef down there, and you got the message that there is life here, and the temperature is nice, and like it was such a revelation, such mind blown. I love that moment so much. Even though I don't think it was written in particularly great way, but like the setup for it was so strong that I was just like, "Whoa, this is epic." So, but otherwise, I felt a little bit like, yeah, it was good, but it did not. I did not get all that much descriptions. I think of the surroundings and things because sometimes there were even like some descriptions were like not non-existent descriptions sometimes, but not that bad. Justice for Mr. Rush the painter. Really was just the bro. He was, but not a husband. Exactly. When Thelma first went into the reef, I felt it. Yeah, I felt it a lot. I felt the atmosphere in all of the POVs. Nice. The humidity, the salt on her lips, the readings of temperature felt super specific to me. Yeah, yeah. I think that was very well done overall, or like it was really good. Wait, I'm looking at the cop-out. So characters, I'm gonna give I think 7.5. Atmosphere, I think 7. I don't think it was that strong, but it was also not bad. So, yep. I also imagined Thelma driving around in one of those stupid triangle cyber trucks and couldn't get it out of my head. Oh, yeah. Yep. Funny. The author must be a diver or did some amazing research on that. Yes, for sure. For sure. It was very detailed and yeah, it feels like there's lots of research going into this book, honestly, like on all the different sides. That's why I was so surprised when just sent the link to the other book by this author, and it was some time travel book that I felt like completely different. It seems like completely different topic. Like how do you manage to write on so many different topics, and like you need to do proper research and stuff. So like impressive, impressive. Um, she did. It's in the acknowledgement at the end. Ooh, I did not have time to read that. Research was done for sure. Let me see. Thank you to Sarah here, who generously answered early questions about marine ecology and life as a scientist within the vast field. And thank you to the Clark Award Group, the Plotters Club, for connecting us. Thank you. Expertise talked me through his work on Project Coral at the Hornium Museum, London, and showed me around the research aquariums. Hannah's work in the novel is based upon research into assisted evolution pioneered by Dr. Ruth Gates and Professor Madeleine van Oppen. Any factual errors in the text are, of course, my own. Um, Thank you to Reef Conservation UK, whose annual conference gave me insight into the breadth of research. Breadth? I don't know how to pronounce that word, I'm sorry. Of research into corals and their ecosystems. Assisted evolution represents one of many endeavors by indigenous peoples, scientists, conservationists, and communities around the world to protect and restore coral reefs for future generations. Thank you to scuba instructor Dave Wilkinson, who accompanied an extremely nervous first time diver to see one small part of the Great Barrier Reef. Thank you to the many friends and family who have sustained me through the writing journey. Okay. Yeah, so she did the diving course. The Coral Bonds was first published by Unsung Stories, who closed in 2023. Thank you to all at Unsung who worked on its production. To Vince Hake for typesetting and cover design. John Oliver for proofreading, blah, blah, blah. Finally, 11 thanks to my partner James Long with me for every step of this journey and the ones to come. Yeah. Okay, so it is time travel, but she travels back to the time they were building something she knew in the present. So you get the history of that and just the magic of Paris in general. Okay, yeah, but it's not like ocean related or diving related, that's what I meant, kind of. Um, I'm gonna add that to my TBR ASAP, right? Me too. Me too. Should it be another like extra book club read? That would be fun. But just already read it, so. um, but yeah, next we have writing. What did we think of the writing? Um, oh yeah, no. um, it was compared to the movie Midnight in Paris, which I love. Okay, I don't think I've seen that one. Um, so I don't know, but sounds good. We've got writing and plot. Writing, I don't have anything specific to say. It was very, very easily read. I was very invested from the beginning, so I think that was very strong. Like the very first pages, I was very intrigued already. So I think it really sucked me in from the start. Like I don't know, I think it was like very the type of writing that I really like, very character driven, and I don't know, I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna give writing an 8, honestly. I liked it. And then we have plot. I mean, there were 3, and I liked all of them. I honestly don't know what to say. Like these kind of books, I find kind of harder to rate, especially when it comes to plot, because it's like 3 different stories set at 3 different times, connecting somehow. Um, so it feels a little bit harder to rate. I'm always impressed when POVs have very clearly different voices, like you could tell who it is without the headers. Yeah, true, true, true. It had some good quotes, and I think the writing kept me interested and held the balance between dark themes and not making it all dark and depressing. Yes, definitely. I have to say, I didn't enjoy that there were no quotation marks, so that is 7. One down. I really didn't enjoy that. So audiobook helped with that a lot. But if I didn't have audiobook, that was annoying that there were no quotation marks. Like why? What's the reason? What is the reason? I did not find any reason in here for to not have quotation marks. But yes, I did find also some quotes that were really nice and like some thoughts. Um, I think there was something here. Uh, I imagine the children of the future diving on what remains of the reef. There is a saying I often think about that we are not living, yeah, this one, that we are not living for ourselves but borrowing from the future. Our borrowing has long exceeded the safe limit. We are shitting in our own house, shoveling the shit to the next room when the stink grows too great, and running out of rooms. That feels quite accurate, even though I personally don't think we are borrowing from the future. I don't think that's fair. I get the sentiment, but I disagree with that because we are living for ourselves, but we also need to keep thinking about the future. But I don't think we're necessarily borrowing. But that's, yeah, neither here nor there. Maybe that's why I disliked Hannah. Her letters to Tess were so pretentious. Like she was trying to present a different, better version of herself instead of who she was. Yes. Yeah, in a way. But I do also think that she like, yeah, she did. She was trying to win her back somehow, even though I have to say that letter like that, I don't think would win me back. But yeah, I get that. It didn't bother me, but I get it. I didn't even realize there weren't the quotation marks, so that obviously didn't bother me. But then I also love Sally Rooney, and she does that too. Okay, yeah, yeah, I don't like it. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. Um, Plot, I would give, like, I can't even think what the plot was. It was discovering. It is such so heavy character driven. It feels like that the plot kind of, I lose the plot. I've definitely read books without certain punctuation before, so it took me a minute, but I adjusted quickly. I don't know, English major benefits. Yeah, I mean, you definitely can get used to it, but it still bothered me. Like, yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's not that bad, but it did bother me a bit. Plot, I'm gonna give a 6. I feel like there was no plot. You know what? I don't know. 6.5. There was plot, but it was character driven, so I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. I like that it ended on Hannah POV, which sort of allowed for hope for our own future. Yeah, definitely. Interesting, Jess. I got the impression that Hannah honestly knew that she was a shitty person and did horrible things and just wanted to share where that came from. Hmm. Yeah, that's actually what I got from it as well. But she also did omit some things from the letters. Um, she did not write everything. Like, she told us things that she did not write, and then wait, when she was thinking, okay, I was just thinking, like, did she actually write in the letter about the moment she wanted to drown? But no, because that would be emotional blackmail. So I'm glad she didn't. But yeah, I agree with this actually. Or present day POV, I guess. I mean, yeah. Yeah, by the end, she's definitely like, I don't deserve you, but I love you, so please take me back. I think it was like that the entire time, honestly. I don't think she changed the way she talked about herself. I think it was like that the entire way. That's how I got it anyway. I hated when she was presuming what Tess was doing in every moment. Like, see, I know you so well. Felt icky to me. I don't know how else to say it. Yes, that I agree with. I didn't like that either. Or I felt like it was so clingy when she wrote about, like, okay, then after the, the interview, or like after the one case on the TV, you're gonna go home, and after you close the door and you're on your own, you're gonna crumble down the wall and cry. Like, are you sure that's what she's gonna do? Are you thinking that much of yourself? Like, that felt so arrogant. But then she was like, or there is gonna be another woman waiting for you with open arms and to celebrate. So I was like, okay, at least she is aware enough. But it just felt like, come on, girl, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. But yeah, I had the I agree with both of you on Hannah. I think both you, Natalie, and Jess. That, like, I didn't like some parts, but also some parts didn't bother me all that much. So, like when she was thinking about her so much, she turned and expected to see her in the doorway. That part was fine, but the stuff you said was what I hated. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I agree exactly. Like, I think it's fine when she was like kind of imagining that she would just walk into the door, because that's just what she would do if she was there, or what she used to do. Like, so it's like memories and hard to move on kind of thing. Yes, but then kind of imagining that the other person is just so miserable, and I know what you're gonna do. I know you're gonna cry your eyes out when you're gonna get at home. That's hopefully the kind of where you're coming from. Okay, nice. Yeah, I'm somewhere in between you two, so that's interesting. I still love the book and enjoyed following her. I don't need to love a character to enjoy reading their POV. Yeah, fair. Totally fair. Um, is there anything more we would like to discuss? I think I took another picture, but it was kind of the whole double page, so I don't know what I wanted to see there. Hmm. No, I don't know. I don't know. I would have loved to read a live convo between Hannah and Tess. Yeah, that's a good point. That would be interesting. We never got that. Yeah. I'm also super jaded and not open to second chances in relationships ever for personal reasons. So that's the bias I'm bringing into everything. Fair enough. Yeah, we are all very sensitive to different things. I totally get it. Like, yeah, you will just read characters differently based on your own experiences. Like, for example, the book The Hating Game. I DNF'd it so fast because the guy was extremely toxic and manipulative. But there are other people who absolutely love it and think he is adorable. And I just thought he was manipulative. And I'm like, I want to go away from that as far as possible. So, based on our experiences and on our personal bias, we're going to love character or hate character or whatever. So, totally fair. Friendships too, for reasons. Yeah, I understand that. I also am trying to be a bit more lean. What? How do you say? Like, be less strict with friendships because it's just not the same kind of commitment. But it's complicated. Like, yes, sometimes I also like got mad and then never messaged a friend again, and it just turned out to be a good decision. But then sometimes I would message again after 2 years, and we rekindled the relationship, and it was great. So it depends. It depends. But I get it. I get it. I want to be able to trust her again if I were Tess. Yeah. Yeah. Me neither. I don't think so. Like, I on one side I want to think that it's complicated, it's never just so simple to just say no to someone you love, even if they screwed up. But then at the same time it's also like you did screw up on purpose. So yeah, you screw me over once, I'm done with you. Fair, fair. I'm also super biased here in knowing that I need 100 second chances in relationship. That's what I'm bringing in. Yeah, exactly. Um but that's the thing, like it really depends on the relationship, it really depends on the people in it, it depends on your personal traumas, on your personal experiences from the past. So for example, you, Natalie, if that's what you would be bringing in, like you need 100 second chances, then you would need someone who is extremely secure and confident with themselves and would not feel abandoned if you screw up. But if, for example, wouldn't work for me because I need someone who's just gonna be there and is not gonna screw me over. Because I also been burned many times before, and I just don't accept it anymore. So it really depends. Like you would really need to find the person for you for that. So that's why I'm like it's complicated, and I'm not thinking automatically that Tess would reject her. Like I don't know. We don't know what kind of person Tess is. From the descriptions, it kind of felt like Tess and Hannah were quite different people, which could very well work for them, or it could very well work against them. So I have no idea. Also depends on what you need a second chance for. Yes, exactly, on what happened. If it's just some small thing, like nobody's perfect. You're gonna remember that nobody's perfect, and people make mistakes, people you know mess up. But then in some things, it doesn't matter if you just mess up. It was just you know crossed your boundary kind of thing, or like it really depends, and every person would accept it differently. So I think we will never agree on this. This is such a personal thing. So, and it's fascinating, honestly. I think it's also different depending on age. People forget I'm 40 sometimes. I am who I am, and if you're going to be shitty, I don't have time for you. That's true. That's true. Like life experience, but I don't think it's only the age. Like honestly, there are people who are 40 and would be like giving second chances to everybody they meet. So I don't think it's just the age. I think it's the experiences that you go through. Also true. Small mistakes are different than like cheating on a spouse or something. Definitely. Yes. So yeah. Is there anything else we would like to bring to the table? Anything more you'd like to discuss? What does the title mean? The Coral Bones. What does it refer to? That was never mentioned as a whole in the book. It was towards the end, I think. So we know the entire thing was about the corals. And then was it the bones for the man that they found and the message? What even was the message? I forgot. That this is what we found the body in an orange inflatable off the south coast of Lizard Island. This is what it looks like when Coral dies. In the days that followed Coral Man's appearance, I read numerous theories about his demise and more about his desecration. It would be interesting to read it again now when she's like talking about the desecration and it was it was she who did it. He was a prophecy, a wake up call, also an affront. Some claimed he was the work of activists, eco warriors, and the like who had been on the warpath since the beginning of the bleaching crisis. A few right wing outliers blamed the scientific community, never to be trusted when it came to climate. This is funny. The man was a stranger to me, but death brings unforeseen intimacy. Reading that message, I felt as though all the events of the days and months preceding were smashing together. The words I had said to you and withheld, the promises made, and the too many I had broken. Something other would be forged in the collision. Um, but also, some people forgive cheating in a marriage, and that boggles my damn mind. Yeah, I know, but um, again, depends on how you were raised, depends on your experiences from childhood, from your romantic relationships, from your friendships, depends on the current situation that you are in. There is so much that is depending on the relationship itself, and there is so much that goes into the decision. It's never like I get it for some people that it is absolutely no, but I also understand that for some people it's not that straightforward. um I I think it very much depends on the level of cheating. For example, I'm not saying I would accept it, but to some degree, how to say it without sounding like a cheater. I never cheated. I never cheated, and I never wanted to. But I did once feel something that was beyond, like the attraction. This is a topic that we should not be talking about at all. But I felt like this kind of like incredible attraction to one guy, like chemical attraction, like it was nothing else. To one guy, only one person, and then there is not that much that you can do. You just gotta go for it, honestly. Like it's crazy. um so in a way, like if that would be the case, I would be like, I understand, as long as you're sorry. I'm not saying I would be okay with it if my partner would cheat. I'm just saying that I understand a level of it if it would be this particular situation, that it's like this incredible chemical attraction that you just can't control, because I experienced it and it's insane. And I'm a woman, so you know what are men supposed to do? I'm just kidding, no, but I don't think it's like 100% this or that. I understand people who are like that, but I also understand people who are willing to work through it. Um, Depends on the situation, obviously. Anyway, yeah, there's a wholly different situation, a whole different discussion. Cheat equals go. Yeah, exactly. Like most people would think that. Yeah, there was a bit about that coral being like skeletons or something. That is true. I feel like the dead coral were the bones. Oh yeah, the coral's dying. Yes, the coral bones. That makes sense. Thank you. It was the beginning too, right? It was in the beginning, the description of corals turning white, and then when they die. Yeah, yeah. Also could be a metaphor about vibrant things that are full of life won't necessarily last forever. Yeah, could be. Yeah, like everything died and someday all they have left is the bones. Yeah, and also connecting to the wardens on the lizard island, that their bones will be there among the corals. There are a lot of discussions in all the POVs, I think, about being remembered after you've died. Yeah. Aces, acily off to the side. What? Aces? What is aces? Acily off to the side. I don't understand what that means. Um, but yeah. Okay. Is there anything more we should discuss? I feel like we've discussed a lot. We had a lot of different opinions and a lot of different interpretations, which was a lot of fun. Um, let's see if there is anything more you'd like to. When you were talking about attraction, never mind. Yeah, but a okay, that's what you mean, like as an ace, as in asexual. Okay, I get it. I get it now. Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't. I never told Henrik. I hope he doesn't watch this, but it's just like it was just with one person, and it was just like it's bonkers. It's bonkers, the feeling. Like I don't know. So in some way, if somebody experiences that, it's hard to fight it. Um, it is hard to fight it. So I'm not saying I would forgive or forget or anything, but there are there are situations. There are situations. I don't think that's cheating. Acting upon that is. I don't think. Oh, that's not. No, it's not cheating. Yeah, acting upon it is, yes, but no, it's not cheating to be attracted to someone else. No, that's just no. But yeah, acting on it is cheating. But I'm thinking that in that situation, there might be, I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, because it shook me. That experience absolutely shook me and shook my understanding of attraction. Um, so since then, I'm not like 100% don't understand cheating. Again, I never cheated, and I don't plan to. I think it's a horrible, vile thing to do. But at that point, I was like, if I would experience this when I was with someone, when I was in a relationship, what would I do? I wouldn't cheat, but incredibly difficult. Just saying. For real, the best part of teaching was when someone came up with an interpretation I hadn't thought of. Opinions can be so exciting. Yeah, I think it's so much fun. Anyway, what did you all rate it? One last question about the book. What did you all rate the book? What did you rate the Coral Bonws? I know Josephine gave it 5 stars. 5 stars. What did everybody else give it? I have not finished my compile, but I'm thinking compile says 4 stars. I think that's accurate. It's not a 5 star for me, definitely not. But it reminds me, I don't want to say one scene from here. If you've read Migrations, one scene here reminds me a scene in Migrations. Do you know which one? Did you also think of it? I can't remember the name or where it was, but do you guys remember the octopus who kept escaping the aquarium and they caught it on film? No, I don't remember. But there was a book with an octopus that kept escaping. It's the, what is it called? Wow, I forgot what it's called. The remarkably, the bright, remarkable creatures. What is it called? I don't know. 5 stars. Yes. I think I'm going for a 3. Yeah. 4.5 for me. Could have done without the assault scene, honestly. Yeah. Yeah, I felt that was a little unnecessary, but it also made sense. That was like the thing I was most worried about. Girls on a voyage. I'm actually considering a 5 stars too, if not 4.5. We'll decide tomorrow. Nice. Yeah, I think because I read it so fast, I just did not enjoy it all that much. So for me, it's a 4. It actually made me think broadly of Migrations because it's the type of book that on paper I shouldn't like, but I loved it. Okay, really? Wait, I've read Migrations in December and didn't get it. No? Okay. Like the writing didn't remind me of it at all. The writing reminded me of History of Bees, but there is one scene that I felt like, and I don't want to say it because I don't know if there are people here. It will be spoiler for Migrations. There was one scene that I was like, oh, this was in Migrations. I don't remember the scene you mean either. Okay, I'll write it on Discord with the spoiler thingy on. Yeah, I don't always like character-driven things. Okay, I see. Yeah, I typically love character-driven books, so that should work in my favor. But yeah, okay, that sounds like a success. So I'm really happy about it. Well, except of Larissa. I gave it only 3 stars, but that's still not too bad. Still not too bad. What we have next in the book club? We start with this month. We are reading the Book of Hope. I want to have live show in about 2 weeks. It would come out, or like it would not 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe 5th of February, like Wednesday. We will vote on it again, but that's my preliminary thought on when we could have the discussion would be 5th of February, but we'll see. We are reading this. This is an extra book. It is like extra book club book that we decided to read together, but it's not the official book club pick. So this is kind of more like a buddy read, and we will have a live show for it. There is already a set up channel on Discord if you'd like to discuss. But yeah, this is basically interview or discussion, conversation between Jane Goodall and Douglas Abrams. Douglas Abrams was interviewing Jane Goodall about her life, about her thoughts on current affairs in the world, and about the future and what she thinks when she thinks about the future. Very great, very good book. I've read it. I loved it. So I hope I love it on the reread as well. Already started it. Nice. What are you thinking so far? Um, I loved it. It's also a lot about her life. So it's also kind of like her biography. Not really, but kind of. So this is book that we'll be discussing closest. And then for the book club itself, next book is The Great Derangement by Amitav Ghosh. And this is also nonfiction. This is nonfiction. Yeah. Oh, this is winner of the 2021 Templeton Prize, whatever that is. Uh, this is a very highly regarded book about climate. It's one of like the classics. If you Google which ones you should read or like what are good climate nonfictions, this is one of the classics. Um, I honestly do not know what it is about. I think he discusses, is it with the about the literature, climate change and the unthinkable. Ghosh, who had previously broached environmental questions in fiction, here steps back from the role of storyteller to analyze modern literature, history, and politics. His purpose is to show that all three cultural modes share assumptions that render climate change unthinkable, occluding our view of its dangers rather than aiding our understanding. The climate crisis is, as Ghosh writes, also a crisis of culture and thus of the imagination. And yeah, this is gonna be interesting. But this one is for January and February. So for this one, the live show will be beginning of March. So first one or the next one, closest one will be the Book of Hope that we'll be discussing. I like it so far. I like that they narrate themselves. Oh, they do. Where do you listen to it? Everett. Oh, that sounds great. I'm gonna check that if I can find it because I mean I read it physically. I annotated everything already, so maybe it would be nice to just listen to it. The Book of Hope. Oh, it's if it's on Everend, I might try to get it too. Get to it too. Yeah. Oh yeah, it is there. I see it. It is there. 6 hours 49. Safe. Very nice. Narrated by Jane Goodall and Douglas Adams. Okay. Yes, I'm gonna listen to that as well. That sounds great. Yeah. So those are the plans in the future. Um, otherwise, yeah, I think we're done for today. Unless there is something else, something last you'd like to add before we wrap it up for today. And then I'll talk to you on Saturday on my sprints again. Or talk to you, see you. I'll talk to you on Discord. I'm going to bed. I am in bed. But nice. We'll go when Henry gets home. He stops practice in half an hour. Okay, he gets home later. But we'll watch movie, and he got me for Christmas a library, like the Book Nook. So we started building it yesterday. So we're gonna be building it tonight as well. I'm so excited! It's my new favorite thing: watching a movie and building a Nook because he also got Lego. So we were building Lego in the evening while watching the movie, and then we finished the Lego. So now we are building my Nook. So now that's my new favorite activity or favorite part of the day. In the evening at 11, turn on a movie and build something. I'm just glad no one hated the book I suggested. Yeah, no one did. It was a very interesting discussion. Thank you. Thanks for the discussion, everyone, and for hosting. Thank you for reading. Oh, cute. Have so much fun, you two. Thank you so much. Oh, a book nook. I love mine. Yeah. I love them all. All of them I've seen at last. So now we are building mine. I'm so excited. We had some very interesting conversations. Yes, we did. What is a book nook? What is a book nook? That's a good question. Wait, I'm gonna book Nook. I have like an old library. Which one do I have? It's not this one, but it's something like that. Is it this one? No, it's not this one. But it's a thing like this. Oh, I could just share on like a screen. But it's a box like this that you build. So it's like wooden and you put it all together. It's like kind of do it yourself, like Lego kind of thing. And then you put it in the bookshelf in between books. And it looks really cozy and nice. So yeah, it's like really old, like ancient library kind of thing that I have. Yeah, mine is something like this. Not exactly this, but something like this. I'll send you a pic. Yes, yes, please, pictures of all the finished crafts. Ooh, I didn't know that's what they were called. Looks cute. Yeah, yeah, that's what they are called. Okay, thank you so much for reading the book with me. I am I cannot begin to describe how happy I am that you guys are like being here in the book club with me and reading books with me like this, because I know these are not like popular books. It's not always very nice to read, but I think it's so nice that we are all like learning more and discussing about these things and being more aware of the issues. So I'm really, really grateful and appreciative that you are all here. So thank you so, so much for reading again with me and discussing with me. And yeah, hope you have a great rest of the evening. And I will see you on Saturday in my sprints. So hope you have a good evening and I'll see you soon. Bye.